Hello there, beautiful folks. Let's talk about types of visas in Vietnam. If Vietnam is your next destination or is on your travel list for this year, you might be wondering, is Vietnam really worth it? Yes, it absolutely is. You should definitely book that ticket. Vietnam is full of fascinating experiences and it's going to be a trip to remember, I assure you. But hold on a second. You've got cash, your bags are packed, your passport is ready, you are even mentally on the way to the airport. Is that really all you need? Well, for some lucky folks, it might be, but for the rest of us, there's that pesky little thing called visa. If you are like most of us and need a visa to visit Vietnam, come closer. I'm about to break down the different types of visas available and help you choose the right one for your trip. I know what you're thinking. Why do I have to jump through all these hoops just to visit another country? Why do I have to jump all this just to visit Vietnam? Why can't we all just have free, easy access to every place on earth? Trust me, I feel you. But until that glorious day comes, we've got to deal with visas, so let's get you prepared. Vietnam visas and what you need to know before you start planning your trip is crucial to know if you even need a visa to enter Vietnam. While many nationalities do, don't get me wrong, some lucky travelers don't, so make sure you check visa requirements before you book that flight. For the vast majority of us, visas are non-negotiable. And if that's the case for you, the next step is picking the right visa that best suits your travel plans. There are two main categories of visas in Vietnam. They are divided based on the purpose of visit and the visa's validity. Now, let's dive into the visa options. Number one, tourist visa. The tourist visa is for those of you coming to Vietnam purely for fun, sightseeing or relaxing and soaking in the culture. And just so you know, it's not meant for any form of business activities. Doing so would be very, very illegal. There are four types of tourist visas: 30 days single entry, 90 days single entry, 30 days multiple entry, and 90 days multiple entry. The tourist visa is your go-to option if you're here to explore Vietnam only. You can get the tourist visa in two ways. The visa on arrival, popularly known as VOA, is available if you're flying into Vietnam, but if you're entering by land or train, this isn't an option. Then there is the e-visa, which is available through the immigration website. But note, this might not be available for some nationalities, mostly African. So please double check to see your eligibility before booking your flight. Number two is business visa. The business visa is popular among Westerners, even if they are not exactly coming to Vietnam for business. Whether you're here to work, travel, or do a bit of both, this visa might be your second best option. There are two types of business visas. The DN1 for those working with legally registered businesses in Vietnam. For example, if your Vietnamese company invites you, this is a visa you would need. Then there is the DN2, which is similar to the DN1 but typically for long-term stays. This visa is for those engaged in services, establishing a commercial presence or performing activities under international treaties. Just like the tourist visa, you can get a business visa either on arrival or online, but I would recommend the visa on arrival, especially if you plan to do things like opening a bank account while you are here in Vietnam. Number three, the student visa. While some might find this visa restrictive, it can be a very good option if you're coming to Vietnam for the first time and need time to adjust to the new country. This visa is for students enrolled in courses at Vietnamese universities. You usually get it after entering Vietnam on a tourist visa or business visa, which you can then switch to a student visa. Again, this is why visa on arrival is often the best route, because you can convert it later. Number four, the work visa. As the name suggests, this visa is for those who have job lined up in Vietnam. There are two types. The first, the LD1, is for those with work permit exemption certificate, typically for NGO workers or those involved in charity work. Then there is the LD2 for everyone else who needs a work permit. Usually you enter Vietnam on a tourist or business visa and then switch to a work visa sponsored by your employer. The work visa is valid for up to 2 years. If you need more time, you can apply for a temporary resident card, but we will cover that in another video. To get a work visa, your company in Vietnam must apply for an approval letter, which you can then use to get visa stamped on your passport at the embassy in your country or at the airport. And the fifth will be the investor visa. The investor visa is my personal favorite. This visa opens up a world of opportunities. You can take out loans, invite others to visit, and more. It's granted to foreign investors in Vietnam and comes in 4 categories, depending on how much you're investing. At number 6 is the diplomatic visa. Finally, the diplomatic visa is the visa for members of delegation invited by the Vietnamese government or the consulate personnel or officials. The best part, there is no visa fee, which is quite weird because normal people get to pay, but government don't pay. I'm not happy about that. So there you have it, folks. A comprehensive guide to the types of visas in Vietnam. If you found this information helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content that will make your travel planning a blaze. Safe travels, my friends.